Hello, folks, and welcome back to another episode of Are You a Fan? If you like this episode, give us a like, share, follow, and, maybe spread the word. It'd be cool if we get a little bit more subscribers. So, this week, I actually don't have a question. I'm kind of slacking off here. What you got for me, Joker?
So, of all the Nintendo franchises, which one is your favorite?
That's a tough one. I mean, I guess on Game Boy, I'd go with Pokemon.
Just Nintendo in general.
Yeah, Nintendo in general. I'm going to go with Zelda. Zelda was my first real, Nintendo 64 game.
Makes sense.
And Ninja Turtles didn't really go past 64 until GameCube.
Right.
How about you?
Mine's definitely Pokemon. Of all the franchises, the one I still play.
Fair.
I grew up on Mario, but I don't really play them anymore. The last one I really played was in 64.
Wow, it's been a while.
Yeah.
No, okay, that's valid. And yeah, Pokemon, I'd argue, has been the most consistent.
Yeah, definitely.
They're like, why change an already working formula?
Well, they're slowly.
Right. Okay, folks, so that brings us into this week's character. We're talking about Mario this week. And we're going to kind of change things up here at the beginning. We're going to let me ask the question. What'd you think about this character? What do you know about this character before we did the research?
Before the research, very little. I knew he was a big part of Donkey Kong at his beginning, but that was about it. And he is like the king of cameos.
You're not wrong there. I'll say that's about my base knowledge. I knew he started out in Donkey Kong, kind of went from there, and he's the arguably the most iconic game character ever designed.
Yep.
I can show that character to anybody, and they know who it is.
Him and Pikachu.
Yeah, him and Pikachu.
You know, the two mascots of Nintendo.
Yeah. Man, it's one of those, you wonder, sometimes, with some of Nintendo's consoles, it's like, man, how have the other console people not beaten these guys out by now? And then you look at their two, they got that
because their failsafe is, hey, we're losing something, we're losing some money. Okay, Pokemon game, Mario game.
That's kind of their answer to it. They're like, oh, we lost money on that random Zelda game we were trying to do. You know what? Let's just slap some new colors on this Pokemon game.
Oh, we lost money on the Wii U, Pokemon, and Mario.
Yep. Okay, so let's get into Mario's real-world history, always starting out fresh. So Mario is a character created by Japanese video game designer Shigeru
Miyamoto.
Shigeru Miyamoto. He is the title character of the video game franchise of the same name and the mascot of Japanese video game company Nintendo. Yeah, he is their most prominent.
Oh, he definitely is. I mean, he's also their oldest.
Yeah, true.
So Mario would first appear as the player character of Donkey Kong in 1981, which was a platform game. Miyamoto wanted to use Popeye as a protagonist, but when he could not achieve the licensing rights, he would create Mario instead. Crazy to think Popeye could have been the face of Nintendo.
I read that. When I was doing the research, I read that. I'm like, oh man, somebody moves a chair in a timeline. This could have been completely different.
When I was going over the script and it still had the hyperlink, I'm like, is that really the Popeye I'm thinking of, or is this some random Japanese thing?
Nope.
Nope, it was Popeye.
Which honestly, I get it for the Donkey Kong game.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, it would have been perfect.
It's just crazy to think that Popeye could be the face of Nintendo and not Mario.
That would have... I don't know how I feel about that. I like Popeye, but I also like Mario.
Right.
Okay. So Miyamoto expected the character to be unpopular and planned to use him for cameo appearances. Originally called Mr. Video... Man, that sounds like something straight out of the 80s. Video killed the radio star. He was renamed to Mario after Mario Segal. Segal?
No idea.
Mario Segal, who was a real estate agent renting a warehouse to Nintendo at the time. Mario Segal confronted the then president Minoru Arakawa?
Yeah, I got nothing for his.
Okay, once again,
I tried to look up how to pronounce it, and I couldn't find it anywhere.
As we always say, we apologize if we butcher names. So I guess he confronted the president of Nintendo, demanding back rent. Following a heated argument in which Nintendo employees eventually convinced Segal he would be paid, they opted to name the character in the game Mario after him. Man, you better have Segal. Segal's got some tight moves.
Who knows? Maybe it's an ancestor.
Right?
Only like 20 years later, but, who knows?
I mean, they come from the same area, I think, maybe. I feel as though the internet's going to be like, this guy doesn't know anything about Steven Seagal.
Nope.
And you'd be right.
So Mario's clothing and characteristics would be themed after the setting of Donkey Kong. He then began to star in the Super Mario series of platform games, beginning with the critically acclaimed Super Mario Bros. In 1985. And since 1992, Mario has been voiced by Charles Martinet, who, fun fact, is also the voice of Parthenax from Skyrim.
No kidding?
That was one of my favorite things I learned.
Oh, holy cow.
That a dragon is voiced by Mario.
That's kind of awesome. Also, I do find it funny that, they did not expect this character to actually be popular. Man, hindsight.
I mean, it's just like Lucas and Star Wars.
True.
Some of the most popular things aren't expected to be sometimes.
I mean, that's kind of how memes work, really.
That's not even getting to that culture.
Right. So after Super Mario Bros., Mario began to branch off to different genres. This included puzzle games such as Dr. Mario, role-playing games such as Paper Mario, and Mario and Luigi, and support games such as Mario or sports games. I guess he can play a support role in those games. But yes, he moved into even sports games such as Mario Kart and Mario Tennis. He has appeared in other Nintendo properties, such as in the Super Smash Bros. Series of crossover fighting games. Which, yeah, he's a main staple of that one.
I mean, I would like to think so. Since half of the name, or a third name, is kind of part of his game.
Right? Also, just man. I wonder who... I should have looked more into it, but just the idea of them being like, you know what would be cool? If Mario played tennis.
Yeah, it's a very good question of how that one came about.
Right?
So Miyamoto would create Mario while developing Donkey Kong in an attempt to produce a best-selling video game for Nintendo. Previous games such as Sheriff had not achieved the success of a game such as Namco's Pac-Man, where he would end up creating an unnamed character, along with Donkey Kong and Lady, later known as Pauline.
I love how they just kind of didn't have names for most of these characters.
Well, I mean, when you don't think a character's really going to go anywhere, why bother? If it's just supposed to be a player character that's there for that one game.
Actually, that's valid. That's pretty valid.
Especially back in the day when, games didn't really have a lot of talking or even scripts.
True. They were just kind of just 2-bit sounds.
Yep.
Also, Sheriff. I'm a little curious who that is or what that is.
I think I remember hearing about it being like an arcade game, but I could be completely wrong.
Well, folks, you know the drill. If you want to know, let us know. So in the early stages of Donkey Kong, the focus of the game was to escape a maze. While Mario did not have the ability to jump, however, Miyamoto soon introduced jumping capabilities for the player's character, reasoning that if he had a barrel rolling towards you, what would you do? I'm like, yeah, jump.
Either jump or if I got the space to sidestep it, but we know in those games it was all you got is the one option.
We're just thinking about those games. It's like, who designed this warehouse?
Some evil, crazy monkey.
Yeah, somebody who clearly didn't know about OSHA.
Right. No arm rails anywhere.
Right.
So, though the protagonist was unnamed in the Japanese release of Donkey Kong, he was named Jumpman in the game's English instructions and Little Mario in the sales brochure. So I guess that's kind of where you got the first use of the word Mario.
Yeah? Wonder why they tacked on little.
I think if I remember correctly, listening to one interview with Miyamoto about like the first Mario game, Mario Bros, is because he was just a little sprite.
That kind of makes sense. Jumping Man.
I like that, just jump man.
Right. Oh, the worst superhero ever. So Miyamoto envisioned a character to be used in every game developed by Miyamoto, a go-to character who could be placed into any game if needed. Albeit in cameo appearances, as Miyamoto did not, at the time, expect the character to become singularly popular. To this end, he originally named the character Mr. Video. Video killed the radio star. Comparing what he intended for the character's appearance in later games to the cameos that Alfred Hitchcock had done with his films. Which I think that's kind of cool that he was a little inspired by Alfred Hitchcock to like... Which... Also, it's just funny because looking at how pudgy Mario is,
right,
with a big nose, I'm almost like, wait. I'm starting to really put some comparisons together.
Yeah, probably not a bad comparison there,
right?
So in retrospect, though, Miyamoto commented that if he had named Mario Mr. Video, Mario likely would have disappeared off the face of the earth, and he's probably not wrong.
Probably not.
A name like that would just fall flat so fast.
I feel like it would have been one of those characters that, just disappears, and then you meet a hipster wearing a shirt of the character.
Yep.
And they're like, I found it at a thrift stop. Isn't it vintage?
It'd be like the original Mickey Mouse being Steamboat Willie.
Yeah. Like, because, I think we've all met that guy that has a Steamboat Willie, like, shirt picture.
Yep.
It's like, this was the original. It's like, nobody cares.
Nope.
Okay, so while it is implied by the title of Mario Bros. Series, in a 1989 interview, his full name was stated not to be Mario. The first notable use of Mario was in the 1993 live-action film adaptation of Super Mario series, and was further used in official video game strategy guides in 2000 for Mario Party 2 and 2003 for Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. Bling bling. Which, Mario.
Yep. Interesting one.
I just kind of feel like Luigi Mario and Mario. It's like, wonder who the parents liked.
Right. So in 2012, after Charles voiced Mario, declaring himself Mario at the San Diego Comic-Con, the next month, Nintendo CEO Satoru Iwata, God, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, said that he had no last name, which Miyamoto agreed with the month after. However, 2 months after Iwata's death in July of 2015, Miyamoto would change his stance, asserting at the Super Mario Bros. 30th Anniversary Festival that Mario's full name was indeed Mario. Nothing like just changing your mind after your partner's death 2 months later. Kind of a dick move.
It's a bit of a dick move. I mean, that really makes you think if like he was just kind of going with it because he's like, it's just too much of a hassle to fight you on this.
Honestly, that's probably exactly what it was. And at that point, when also the voice actor says, "This is my name," it's hard to combat that with the fans.
Especially with the fans. The fans control so much of the media of like these characters.
And just like we talked about in the last episode with Sonic, we bullied a studio.
Yeah, into re-altering an entire movie. So, yeah, no. Good call, Miyamoto. So, by Miyamoto's own accounts, Mario's profession was chosen to fit with the game's design. Since Donkey Kong takes place on a construction site, Mario is made into a carpenter. And when he appears again in Mario Bros., it was decided that he should be a plumber because of a lot of the game is situated in underground settings. Which is smart. Also, not uncommon for those types of people to change professions.
Right. Especially with like when they changed his profession to plumber. Makes sense when he's going down pipes.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of it just made sense.
It completely fits the aesthetic. Also, I mean, like, what was he in, like, 3 Donkey Kong games and that? Like, I think we can forget that he was a carpenter.
We'll go over that later.
Okay. Didn't like that look Jordan gave me.
So, Mario's character design, particularly his large nose, draws on Western influences. Once he became a plumber, Miyamoto decided to, quote-unquote, put him in New York and make him Italian, lightheartedly attributing Mario's nationality to his mustache.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't say they didn't just take the race card and play it.
Okay, yeah. I was about to say, I'm like, huh. Don't know if this character would have been made nowadays.
Oh, probably not. Not that directly influenced, no.
Yeah. Okay, so other sources have Mario's profession chosen to be carpenter in an effort to depict the character as an ordinary hard worker, making it easier for players to identify with him. After a colleague suggested that Mario more closely resembles a plumber, Miyamoto changed Mario's profession accordingly. Which, with what he's wearing, I feel like it could go either way.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen plumbers and carpenters wear that exact outfit.
But I'm just kind of finding it amusing how easy it seems to be kind of to nudge Miyamoto in a certain direction on this character.
Yeah, I kind of feel like this guy's just kind of existing with this character. Well, it's kind of what he said. He's like, no, I was supposed to be Popeye, so I don't care what happens to it now.
It's what it feels like, to be honest.
Right?
So, due to the graphical limitations of arcade hardware at the time, Miyamoto would clothe the character in red overalls and a blue shirt to contrast against each other and the background, making the movements of his arm easily perceptible. Which makes sense. You gotta make it easy to see for kids.
Fair.
Red cap was later added to let Miyamoto avoid drawing the character's hairstyle, forehead, and eyebrows, as well as to circumvent the issue of animating his hair as he jumped. This is some DBZ stuff all over again.
Oh my god, did this guy take classes from the creator of Dragon Ball Z?
Makes me wonder if they took it from him.
Yeah? Because, yeah, no, I'm like, oh wow, that is, which also smart, brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
I love how now he does have bushy eyebrows with with the progression of technology. His face has just become so detailed.
Right.
So to give the distinctly human facial feature with a limited graphical abilities, Miyamoto drew a large nose and a mustache, which avoided the need to draw a mouth and facial expressions. Omitting a mouth circumvented the problem of clearly separating the nose from the mouth with a limited number of pixels available. Which, once again, yeah, just brilliantly short to the point.
Yep, and you don't have to do as much. You don't have to worry about as much being taken care of and animated. It just makes sense.
Yeah, just nice, simple. I mean, I kind of feel like that's why the original Pokemon games had the dude with the hat.
Yep. So, with more than 750 million units sold worldwide, the overall Mario franchise is the best-selling video game series of all time. And that is mind-blowing.
He really is the most iconic. He really
He
is
the king of games.
Yeah. Bow to your plumber overlord. Bow to your king on his porcelain throne.
Yeah, sorry, Triple H. You lost the title of king of games.
Oh, yes. Okay, so that's what we got for Real World. Let's dive in universe and figure out who Mario really is as a person. Maybe. Let's find out. Okay, so Mario is a mustached Italian plumber who lives in the Mushroom Kingdom. Mario also sometimes rules his own land, Mario Land. Mario Land. Confirmed in...
As.
As. What was I saying?
A.
Okay. Yeah, that S disappeared. Okay. As confirmed in DIC cartoon Mario. Okay. As confirmed in DIC cartoons. Mario and his brother Luigi used to live in Brooklyn as plumbers. Humble beginnings.
So the stork that was carrying Mario and Luigi, Kamek snatched baby Luigi and the stork with Mario falling onto Yoshi. Yoshi and his traveling companions work together to help Mario save Luigi, while the toadies attempt to chase them. That was just a bunch of weird words all put together there.
I do like that the villains are called toadies, though. It reminds me of like Gangster Times or like mobsters. Hey, send the toadies after him. It's
kind of amusing to think that this is all happening as they're still babies.
Right? Yeah, I remember when I was like reading that. I was like, oh yeah, there was a whole game about Baby Mario.
Yep, I remember that too.
So after the defeat of Baby Bowser, Mario reunited with Luigi and Yoshi freed the stork. The stork continued carrying Mario and Luigi to the parents' home and left Mario and Luigi by the porch. So, the happy ending.
Just with a short side trip on the way.
Also kind of gives you an idea of the whole, like what's Bowser's deal? Like, why does he hate Mario so much? It's like, oh, man, they've been rivals since the get-go.
Yeah. So it makes you wonder, though, was Kamek part of Bowser's thing, or...
That's a good question.
Was he just, trying to kidnap babies? Still curious on what started this whole thing and how he ended up fighting Bowser.
I mean, you hope that Bowser sent him to do this, because otherwise this just gets real weird. Like, why are you kidnapping children? For your pies? You witch.
That's where all the kids are going. Wait a second, I was too excited about that.
Oh.
So Donkey Kong the First, which is now Cranky Kong in the modern day with his grandson taking up the mantle, had kidnapped Pauline onto a dangerous construction site. Donkey Kong taunted and teased Mario until the plucky plumber/carpenter defeated Donkey Kong and rescued Pauline. Well, at least now we know how that got started.
Yeah. Because, I think I remember a little bit about that.
Kind of always made you wonder, though. I was like, okay, why are we in a Donkey Kong game as Mario, and why do we care?
Right? So, which I do find that funny, though, that they named the game Donkey Kong, but it's one of the few games where the title character is the villain. And
especially for back then. That was, rare.
And you don't even get to play as them.
Nope.
I was like, generally, you at least get to play as the villain if you're going to play if the villain's the title character. Okay, so in order to make sure nothing like that happened ever again, Mario put Donkey Kong inside a cage. He then prevented Donkey Kong Jr. from rescuing Donkey Kong, but Donkey Kong Jr. caught up with Mario, releasing his father in the process. Which I do remember, I think there was a game based around that whole story.
Probably.
Also, that's a lot of Donkey Kongs. That's in that paragraph. Oh, that pushed me.
So the Nintendo comic system comic entitled Family Album: The Early Years is another early medium that depicts Mario's childhood. According to it, Mario has taken to an early interest in plumbing, although frequently misbehaving, such as making his father's pipe emit bubbles instead of smoke. At least that's, a innocent shenanigan.
Yeah.
Not like some of the shenanigans that Bowser pulls.
Fair. Okay, so Mario is also adept at sports, scoring home runs in his neighborhood softball team. Mario at birth is shown to have a full head of hair and and facial stubble that quickly becomes a mustache. Who is this kid? I'm jealous. Why am I jealous of a baby? So the comic also depicts Luigi as several years younger than Mario, whereas he is depicted as Mario's younger twin in the video game. So a little bit of a continuity problem there, but it's one of those, it happens, especially with game-based characters.
Oh, yeah.
That, I'd say probably the only majorly consistent canonical character we've done video game-wise has been Master Chief.
Yeah, that may be Kratos.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're right. Kratos is another one, but
that's about it.
It's kind of rare, though, for them to have that linear of a canonical story.
Yeah.
All right.
Especially early on.
Oh, God, yeah. Okay, so let's get into powers and abilities. So Mario's most commonly portrayed form of attack is jumping to stomp on the heads of his enemies. That sounds metal.
Right.
Yeah, it's cute in the game, but you really think about it, it's like, that's actually pretty effed up. So he also possesses super strength, jumping, durability, speed, reflexes, stamina, agility, gymnastics, acrobatics, athletics, balance, and endurance. Yeah, for a pudgy little dude, the guy can run. And never seems to slow down.
He's like the Energizer Bunny. He just keeps going and going and going.
I mean, I guess those mushrooms have a lot of potential in them. So he also has regeneration, resurrection, passive with a 1-up glove, or a 1-up mushroom, or extra life mushroom. I don't know. It gets confusing in these games with all the equipment. He's Essokinesis.
No idea.
Knowing it's the music keys, I think it's the one that allows him to teleport from plane to plane. Pyrokinesis. Yeah, with the fire flower. Burn! Loved the fire flower one.
Best one.
Right? Also, he's got a bunch of transformations. Got frog forms, raccoon forms, kite forms. Guy's got a lot. He is also a fast swimmer, aquatic respiration. Sometimes. I think that depends on whether you get the frog suit.
Probably.
Also ground power and that, so they will pick up things, I think, and throw them.
That's ground pound.
Oh!
So that's slamming into the ground to defeat enemies.
I remember, yeah. Oh, yeah, like in N64 when you'd use that to, like, smash the bottom bricks.
Yep.
So, master combatant, skilled pilot, high intelligence, great leader. He's very charismatic. And also, I find this the funniest and most random one. Doctor knowledge.
Well, they had to tie in Dr. Mario somehow.
And that's what I love about that. He was an actual doctor at one point. What happened? Man, malpractice?
He's too busy chasing Peach.
Apparently. Okay, now power-ups. Pyrokinesis, Fire Flower, Invincibility with the Superstar, Flight with various objects, Cryokinesis, Freeze Touch with Ice Flower. There's an Ice Flower now? Oh my god. Geokinesis with the Rock Mushroom.
See, there's your rock powers.
There we go. So, Boomerang Mastery with Boomerang Flower, Enhanced Jump with Spring Mushroom, Chrysokinesis, gold. I think he can straight up Greek turn someone into gold.
We'll go with that. I have no idea.
Okay.
Never seen that one.
He also apparently can obtain bee physiology with the bee mushroom, turtle physiology with blue shell, ghost physiology with boo mushroom, and Nephilikinesis cloud flower. Nephilikinesis? Nephilikinesis.
We'll go with that.
Let's end there. And also, the greatest one, his most iconic, I'd argue, is the raccoon.
Yep. Which, if I remember correctly, that kind of goes into the flying one too.
Yeah. Yep. And that's kind of what we got for his powers and abilities. I mean, don't look like much, but don't come at him. If you come at him, you better come correct.
And still don't come at him.
Right? Take us away.
So getting into other media starts immediately. If anybody remembers listening to our last episode as we talked about Sonic and how many games he was in, we had a question of, who was more, Sonic or Mario? Well, we have a definite answer. Definitely Mario.
Yeah.
With over 200 games that he has appeared in. So, definitely not listing off names.
Yeah.
But he has appeared in in 23 Donkey Kong games. So, that hence the look earlier. We're like, oh, he's in 3. We're good. Nope, they went for 20 more.
Oh, my God. Okay.
He's in 10 Donkey Kong Jr. games. He's in Donkey Kong 2. He's in 14 Mario Bros. Games, Mario Bros. Cement Factory, 9 tennis games, 4 pinball games, 7 golf games, where all but 1 in 2003 were in the 80s. He has 6 Super Mario games. So a lot of these, as we get to some of these ones now, it's different versions of them for different systems.
Okay. Fair.
Because he has 6 Super Marios, 4 Super Mario 2, 3 Super Mario 3 games. He's in 2 Tetris games, 3 Dr. Mario games, and 25 various forms of Mario Party games.
There are 25 versions of that?
Between the different kind of systems, the GameCube, the handhelds, the newer systems.
That also just feels like the most random one to have the most. Like, even with across systems.
Not really. Because that's a great one for a lot of people to play together.
I guess.
It's like the Smash Bros.
If I'm being honest, I never really played Mario Party.
I've played like 2.
I was all about Mario Kart.
Yep.
Rainbow Bridge, baby.
So in animation, he appeared in the 1983 and Saturday Supercade TV show, 1986 Super Mario Super Show, The Adventures of Super Mario Bros. 3, and Super Mario World. Now into the unfortunate parts of video game movie history. In 1993, he appeared in the film loosely based on Super Mario series, Super Mario Bros., where in a 2007 interview, Hodgkins, who portrayed Mario, considered the role his worst choice in his acting career and admitted to constantly drinking before and during filming.
That explains the broken hand.
It also explains on why the movie was so bad.
Yeah.
That probably didn't help the situation.
I was going to say, fun fact, in one of he insisted on doing some of his own stunts, and on one of the ones where they're on the back of the work truck, he broke his hand.
Well, now we know why. But it also just tells you how bad the movie is when your star can't do it sober.
Yeah, that's not great.
And then in the film coming out next month in 2023, Chris Pratt will voice Mario in coming up.
None of us, Mr. Moon just voiced, he doesn't know how he feels about it. I'm not going to lie to you, Mr. Moon. I don't think any of us really know how we feel about that.
I do. I'd rather be anybody else.
Okay, fair.
Like, I'd rather be an Italian. Like, I like Chris Pratt, don't get me wrong. But it's getting to the point, he's in too much stuff.
Yeah, and unnecessarily in too much
Yeah,
stuff.
because there's no reason for him to be in this.
Also, what I think bothers me the most is the voice actor is still actively voicing Mario in games and
Exactly.
alive.
He'd be way better.
Yeah, like, this isn't us trying to find a live-action version of him. This is literally, hey, dude, you know how you voiced the game character this weekend? Yeah, we have a multi-million-dollar movie that we could also use you voicing the character in.
Yeah. Much better choice.
I'm pretty excited who they picked to play Luigi, though. He's an actor from Always Sunny, and he's perfect.
The rest of the cast is actually pretty good.
Oh, insanely.
I just don't want Chris Pratt.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty done with it. Chris Pratt, I'm gonna need you to settle down if you ever hear this. Just ease up, because you're starting to become a problem. Well, folks, that's what we got for Mario, and as always, end the episode with what'd you think of the character, Joker?
Honestly, he's been one that I've always kind of been a fan of. He was one of the first games I was playing as a kid. It's childhood idol, I guess.
Yeah,
I guess not quite idol, but somewhere in that realm.
Like he's definitely one of our childhood like core
Figures.
memories.
Yeah, core memory. There we go.
And you know what? Yeah, I'm still a fan, and even more so doing the research. For anyone that's still listening, if you got something out of this, enjoyed the episode, or even liked the character before from a movie, comic, cartoon, hell, even that t-shirt that you saw one time, you're a fan too. If you want to jump on this train, why not subscribe and share with a friend? d-rael out. Y'all keep riding them rails.